What do you say to people who think you're crazy or a public nuisance, or that you're like getting people to dig up outhouses or graves or national parks or any of that kind of stuff?
I pretty much agree with them. I hope somewhere in my distant past there was a parrot, because I have that instinct in me, I think. I mean, I never wanted to break the law, but I wanted to bend some of them a little bit. You know, how do you know where the edge is if you don't go out there and look? And I'm not the type of person that you'll find walking down the center line. It's just not part of me. And that treasure chest is part of a historic document that, I mean, the Rosetta Stone was buried 2,000 years. And I said in my book that, don't you know, the guy that carved that thing is proud of himself 2,000 years later that it was found. Yeah. So that's the way I look at that. Until the treasure chest is found, my name is going to be an asterisk in the book that talks about that treasure chest. And you got to say that that's a legacy. The hints won't take you to the treasure chest, but the clues will. But the hints will help you with the clues. So, you know, you have to go in the back door, but they're subtle. That's why I say read the book normally the first time, and then go back and think about each sentence as you read it. Look at the pictures and the drawings, and in a very subtle way they can help you if you have your mojo working.
Yeah.
The treasure is not buried where you're going to find it. That's the first thing. You know, if I buried the thing 20 feet deep, then you might make the argument that it isn't wet. But the Rocky Mountains are wet most of the time, summer and winter both. And if it's not raining, it's snowing. And so if I buried the thing 6 feet deep, and I didn't, then it's going to be wet.
Right. Yeah.
Make your pulse quicken just a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. All right, sorry, I got a little bit sidetracked there.
I was born looking out of a window, and I never stopped looking out of the window. In high school, I sat by a fire escape. And the window was open when the weather was good, and when the teacher wasn't looking, I could climb through that window and slide down an old iron fire escape. I mean, the lure of the smell of freedom was superseded anything that the teachers had to teach me. And that's why I made D's and F's in all my, I think I graduated because my father was a principal. But nevertheless, I never felt like they had anything for me. They certainly didn't have anything that would command my attention. This one teacher, Spanish teacher, she said, Forrest, don't you know anything? I said, Miss Ford, I don't even suspect anything. And then the bell rang and I got out of there. Also, I don't know whether you know it or not, but I've made a number of cast bronze jars and bells that I have buried in the desert and in the mountains. I've buried 8 of them, and I buried them so deep that a metal detector can't find them, and so remotely that I couldn't go back to them myself and find them. And I can see one of those things being dug up 10,000 years from now when somebody's making a footing for a building or something, and they're going to screw off that jar and find my autobiography in there in a little olive jar, and they're going to read that thing and say, "Good Lord, look at this guy 10,000 years ago, what he did." So I'm going to be famous. I've been sitting here for about an hour talking to you, and I've answered most of your questions. There are a few questions I haven't answered, but one that I didn't answer now I wish I had not. Well, you've asked me a lot of questions, and most of them I've answered, a few I haven't, but I got to tell you, there's one thing I told you that I wish I had not. I've already said too much.